Man, do we have a lot to talk about in this video. I'm going to go over basically the status of our economy. It is absolutely crashing at the moment. Things do not look good. I'm going to go over some more company layoffs that are happening here pretty soon. And I'm going to show you guys some stock picks that I'm looking at to add to my portfolio as we're seeing this sell off in something, and basically my long-term plays. So strap in, get ready, because we have a lot to cover in this video. Today, stocks sold off. Market sold off today. Dow was down, I think, at like 600 points at one point in time today. Um, Basically, retail sales came out and it fell a lot sharper than projected. Economics expected sales to fall by 0.8% and they fell 1.1%. I'm going to dive into this article here. Retail sales contributed to fall in December as shoppers battled inflation. Economists had expected sales to fall by just 0.8% for the month. And you can see up here, dropping 1.1% as inflation remained high. That's the largest monthly decline since December of 2021. And practically every category except for building materials, groceries, and sporting goods saw sales drop from the month prior. All in all, the final retail sales report for 2022 shows a muted finish to the holiday season that crept even further into October versus the traditional late November and December. October and November, we saw consumer spending go up a little bit because inflation showed signs of dropping. So we had a little bit of spending during October and November, but then December really took a hit. And that's during the holiday season as well, which is also not good. People are just being more conscious and aware of the money, what they're spending, and keeping better track of what their money's going to and how much they're saving. Going down here, potential slowdown ahead. Consumer spending has remained robust despite inflation, rising interest rates, and recession fears. However, some economic data suggests that activity may be losing some steam and that Americans are running out of dry powder. I think the consumers have gotten very active in managing their household budget and what they're willing to spend on, said Matt Kramer. They're spending more time looking for the deals and being thoughtful about when and where they make purchases. That is seen in the monthly sales decline in categories like motor vehicles, which were down 1.2% from November, furniture down 2.5%, and electronics down 1.1%. With interest rates, inflation, you guys see used vehicle prices are absolutely ridiculous right now. Like, they are skyrocketed. They're extremely high. Interest rates are also very, very high. Like, buying vehicles just aren't worth it, and people are seeing that, and they're starting to save their money versus going out and buying those things. Also, furniture, financing furniture, getting rates on those. Furniture hurts, man. I have financed furniture for my own house before, and that sucks. I hated financing furniture, and those interest rates can be horrible. And with the way the rates are now, I can only imagine like the prices for those furniture, the monthly fee, the monthly payments you pay on those rates are horrible. So people are recognizing that and choosing to be better about their money, choosing what they spend their money on, saving more, spending less. This is also a bad time to have debt, have credit card debt. Any debt right now is just bad. You don't want it, and people are recognizing that, and they are keeping a close eye on what they spend their money on, so on and so forth. So that is what came out, and stocks dropped on this as well today. I'm going to go over something that we have briefly touched on this in the past with Amazon doing layoffs. But now we have another company coming in and laying even more people off, and that is Microsoft. Microsoft looks to lay off 10,000 workers as it looks to trim costs. The job cuts, which amount to less than 5% of the company's workforce, are its largest in roughly 8 years. The layoffs that Microsoft is looking to do is the largest cut that they have done in 8 years. And they are shifting their focus. And what they're shifting their focus to is very interesting. And I've actually covered this in a previous video, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in this one as well. But Microsoft on Wednesday became the latest addition to a growing list of big technology companies that have announced plans to lay off employees because of overhiring during the pandemic and worries about the economy. So, taking a step backwards, when we had the pandemic, when COVID hit, right? Amazon, look at Amazon. They went on a major hiring spree. Why? Because everybody was at home, nobody was doing in person shopping, and everybody was buying online. So Amazon went on this major hiring spree. I think it was one of their largest hiring sprees. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they went on a major hiring spree. And since things started to normalize and people got back into in-person shopping and we kind of exited out of the pandemic stages, now they're stuck with all of these employees. And on top of that, we have a worsening economy. So now they're going to trim the workforce because the excessive amount of employees, like what they needed during the pandemic, is just no longer needed anymore. Microsoft is in the same boat. They went on a major hiring spree because people were at home shopping online, doing more online purchases, and so they needed more workers. Now things have normalized, and they don't need those workers anymore. It's a shame, and I feel really bad for these employees, but with things normalizing and now our economy dropping and things getting worse, it makes sense that all these companies are going to start laying off people. But one thing I want to highlight is what they're shifting their focus to. The company will lay off 10,000 workers as it looks to trim costs amid economic uncertainty and to, look at this, refocus on priorities such as artificial intelligence. Guys, AI, I'm telling you. And again, this is not financial advice. This is my personal opinion, obviously. But AI, if you can invest in companies who are focusing on AI, I think long term, 5, 10 years, you're going to be set up for a lot of success. That's just my opinion. It's not financial advice. Me personally, I am investing in companies who are focusing on AI. Why? Look at how AI has really just shown its face lately, right? Chat GPT, all these other AI companies. I even read an article where they were trying to use AI to develop new proteins to battle really harmful diseases. Like, AI is really starting to make its footprint, and that's only going to continue to grow and get larger. And so if you can invest in companies that are putting a focus in AI, I think you're going to be setting yourself up for a lot of success. And I'll go over one of my favorite companies with AI here later on in this video. But just like Microsoft's here, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, I did a video on this. I'm not going to go over all the details here, but even Amazon, right? Amazon set to begin new round of layoffs affecting more than 18,000 people. 18,000. Amazon on Wednesday will begin a fresh round of job cuts and was expected to become the largest workforce cuts in its 28-year history. 18,000 people, the largest workforce cut in its 28-year history. That is insane. Why? Same thing, right? Amazon is trimming its headcount after it went on a hiring spree during the COVID-19 pandemic. Everybody was shut in. They needed more people to fulfill their services as more and more people went online. The company's global workforce swelled to more than 1.6 million by the end of 2021, up from 798,000 the fourth quarter of 2019. That is massive. Absolutely massive. So now Amazon's has frozen all hiring, and now they're looking to get rid of a major workforce as one, again, things we've kind of exited out of the pandemic, things have normalized a little bit, and the economy worsening, obviously. So people are getting laid off. It's very unfortunate. I hate this. I'm praying for everybody affected by layoffs, and this is not a good time for really anybody, and this economy is at a very bad state right now. So with that said, I'm going to go over a company that I feel is a very good buy at the moment. It's one of my favorite stock picks. They're focused on AI, and they're focused on just taking over the industry, and that is Tesla. I did do a video on this. Tesla did cut its prices sharply as it looks to just dominate the competition, man. They cut their, I think it was 20%. Tesla cut prices on most of its electric cars in the United States and Europe by as much as 20%. And it says in a bid to spur slackening demand, Tesla has never had a demand problem. Even Elon Musk comes out and says that Tesla doesn't have a demand problem, and it won't have a demand problem as more and more people move to electric vehicles. Now, I will say that there has been an increasing competition for electric vehicles. Places like Mercedes, Audi, Lucid. There's a lot more competition out there for electric vehicles. Now with Tesla cutting its prices, it's going to absolutely dominate. Their cars are so much more cheaper. They're focused less on margin and now more on demand and really just pushing volume, right? They're going to be pushing volume. The volume is going to offset the margins they're going to lose from the price cuts. Just my opinion, but again, it's not financial advice, obviously, but it's going to happen. They're going to dominate, and no other car industry, electric vehicle, I will say, is going to compete with these cuts. They are going to absolutely blow the competition out of the water, which is why they're my favorite company to invest in right now. But let's get into something real quick. We saw a big drop in the market today. The Dow, like I said, the Dow was down like 600 something odd points or whatever. The SPY dropped 1.58% today. I am honestly a buyer. Now, with that said, I'm going to go into this real quick, and I hope that everybody kind of takes the same approach here because we are in a very uncertain time in the economy, right? We are probably going to go through an earnings recession where companies are going to report bad earnings, and that's to be expected in the first half of this year. I think the second half, we're going to pull out of it. So we could see more of a drop on the SPY, the NASDAQ, S&P 500, Dow. We could see a further drop. But if you can think long-term, even Warren Buffett goes on to say this, if you can think 5-10 years, that is the way to beat a recession and to come out on top and to come out ahead. With that said, if you have a 5 to 10 year mindset, I fully believe that you are in a good opportunity now to start adding on to a position, building a small position that you can just sit and forget, right? And this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at the SPY here. If you look at SPY, we're trading at 391, right? We're trading at 391 from its high at 472. That is basically a 20% return, 20%. Go back and look at previous recessions. They've always recovered. History tends to repeat itself. All recessions have all recovered. The market is going to recover. It's just a matter of when, and can you be patient enough for it to actually do it? So with that said, I am adding on a position to SPY here slowly as we continue to see more and more of a sell-off. The sell-offs are not going to make my stomach drop or anything because I have a position size that I can manage and handle that's not going to make me overly emotional if it does continue to drop. But it offers 20% return, and I love that. So I'm going to continue to add on to my position. We do have a little bit of support down here in the 360s. It looks like we tried to break lows, but then we got bought right back up. So we do have a little bit of support down here in the 360s. I would not be surprised as we are in earnings. We could see this continue to sell off. Was that another 7%, right? Let's see. Draw a trend line here. We come down to support. So yeah, about another 7%. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got another 7% drop on the SPY. It could happen with the recession. The earnings recession is coming up. I think we could see another 7% drop. And if we do, I'm going to add on to my position. If we break these lows, I'm going to continue adding on because I have a 5 to 10 year outlook on this. I don't care what happens in the next 6 months to a year. To beat a recession, you got to have a long-term vision. And that's my goal. Now, that's for SPY. For Tesla, like I just talked about earlier, Tesla saw a little bit of a dip today, 2%. We did have a rally yesterday, but today we did drop about 2%. And after hours are down 1.38%. So we're trading at 128 right now. If we go look at where we are now, back up to $414, that is a 221% return. Is it going to get back up to 414? Probably. Is it going to take a few years? Probably. I don't care what happens in the next year. I don't care. With Tesla and the aggression that they're putting into doing more volume and cutting prices to dominate competition, I have no doubt that Tesla is going to be trading back up in the 400s again. I have no doubt. So I'm going to be adding on to my position slowly, small position sizes, in order to capitalize on the downtrend that we've seen and the recession that we are facing. Could Tesla face an earnings recession? Probably. It could. But Tesla got hammered hard last year, right? So this could be the second half of this year, could be a time where Tesla sees that rebound as it cut prices and continues to dominate competition. It could see more volume come up and therefore increasing its sales. So I am adding on to my position. This is not financial advice, right? Again, I have a 5 to 10 year outlook. I do not care what happens tomorrow, 6 months from now, a year from now, even 2 years from now. I don't care. I am thinking long term. And this is a good way to capitalize and beat a recession. Again, I know I've been repeating that over and over and over again, but it is how you do it. So I am adding on my position, small position sizes, taking it slow, taking it easy, and riding it out. That's where I'm at. But Tesla is one of my favorite stocks to invest in right now, and I will continue adding on to my position. With that said, I know we covered a lot in this video. If you guys like this kind of content, make sure to smash the like button down below. It is completely free. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We have tons of more videos coming out just like this one. We're going to cover basically the overall economic status of the economy, my favorite stock picks, what I'm adding to my portfolio, and my long-term outlook in order to come out on top of this recession. If you guys want more daily content just like this, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.